crazy Lions fans talking crazy, like, oh, why would we do this? Like, bro, do you guys like have no trust in Dan?
Mm,
Like in the Lions, like you think they would just
mm.
hire a random dude? Like, be for real. Like, you think they don't know what they're doing? They don't do their research. They don't interview. Like, most of you guys don't know really much about anything, about any ball.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
and you're tweeting about a coach that was hired that you guys don't like because of XYZ. Like, it's just funny to me to see. Don't get me wrong, I love all Lions fans, but they are so quick to make, you know, judgments about who we hired, who we did this. Like, bro, just relax, calm down. Like, let the whole thing play out. Like, you guys just let it play out. Just relax. That's all I gotta say. Relax, man. Relax.
Equinemius's
Yeah.
face is so awesome. Because he's like, you're really about it. Like, if you hear him say, wow, you're really gonna shoot down the fans, my man. Like, you can't be saying that. And like the whole time you see his face, he's like,
If there's anybody though that I think has the right to be able to do that, it's probably Amon Ra St. Brown. Um,
he said
but
this with
here's
Johnny Moe,
here's
though. He said this with Johnny
he
Moe.
did he did. So I got to give him credit for being ballsy in that way. But the funniest part to me, number one, we're the media, right? Like this is the job of the media, is to debate about these things. It's to talk about these things, why we think Mike McDaniel might be a better choice, why we think maybe Dan Campbell going for the safe option in this situation probably wasn't the right choice because it doesn't put the Lions in the right situation. But this pompous, almost arrogant attitude of, well, just let it play out. Do you guys not trust Dan? Oh yeah, we let it play out this year. You want to know how it played out?
No playoffs.
We're not in the playoffs. We choked away games. Okay, we went on fourth down in stupid situations. Dan Campbell single-handedly coached us out of several of those games that we lost. What, just sit back and trust? I'm just supposed to just sit back, sit on my hands, and just allow Brad Holmes to cook. What did he cook exactly last year?
No playoffs.
Like burnt Brussels sprouts and I don't know. He burnt the damn broccoli. I mean, we were expecting a 5-course meal and we got damn McDonald's. What exactly am I supposed to sit back on, Amon Ra? Explain that to me. What am I supposed to trust? So as much as I agree and as much as I back up his sentiment about how people don't really understand the sport of football, which I will 100% give you that. It's the most popular sport in the United States. The NFL dominates the pro sports scene in the US, right? So everyone is going to have an opinion. And before anybody points me out for this, I'll put my right hand to the sky and tell you, I am not the most knowledgeable soccer fan on the planet. I don't understand the game back and forth. There have been many a times where I've said something and Ryan has like kind of either laughed to himself or immediately corrected me because he's like, you have not grown up watching the Premier League. You don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing my best, right? I'm doing my best Pat McAfee impersonation. I feel like every morning talking about the Premier League. I'm doing my best. Yeah, middle back. I'm doing my best to learn, but I just don't really understand. Right. And so I can say the same exact thing for casual fans when it comes to football. By the way, it's America. You can have your opinion, you can watch the sport, but Amon Ra, I believe our critiques of this organization are perfectly legitimate. When you look at the way Brad Holmes fumbled the 2025 season, no pun intended. And we've talked about the layers to this. Okay, you don't promise Ruth Chris and then give me, I don't know, what, Mr. Burger? Mr. Burger's pretty good. Actually, that's insulting to Mr. Burger, but you get the point. We're just supposed to let it play out? Oh, wait, how does that work? If I'm not mistaken, people have let this thing play out for years and years, decades and decades. They've been Lions fans, and it's been the same BS every single time. Now, I'm not in a position of authority to be able to go toe-to-toe with Amon Ra St. Brown. But the reality is this. I will say that Detroit sports fans' frustrations are misguided. If you're having conversations about, well, we need to replace Jared Goff, get out.
Yeah,
Get out. In
we
that
need Goff.
situation, you don't
We
know
kind of
ball.
need him.
You don't know ball. My guess is that he's probably one of 3 players that you know if you think he's the reason why the Lions are in the position that they're in. Get out. You're not a part of the conversation anymore. Jared Goff is not the problem. Aiden Hutchinson is not the problem. Jahmyr Gibbs is not the problem. Our skill team or skill position players are not the problem. We know what the problem is. And we already said this. He might be a good fit for this team. I understand there are interviews. I understand there's a personality component to this. I talked about the identity of this Lions team. And if they wanted an identity guy, again, who produces good run games and solid offensive lines, they probably got their guy. But was he the choice? You know, if I have an option between I can afford an amazing sports car, or I can spend, maybe half the amount of money on a reliable vehicle. I don't know. I guess it all depends on what your goals are. Do you want to win now? Or do you just want a guy who's the same rah-rah nonsense that you can just keep around for a few extra years because you're so scared? Because Ben Johnson left you, and he left you with nothing. No, I'm sorry. The job of the media is to talk about these things. Because if we just let it ride and we don't question anything, what happens last year? And this was the thing heading into the 25 campaign, and I'll let you get your opinion in here really quickly. I know I'm ranting right now. But it frustrated me to no end that people were like, we lost a couple of coordinators. Like, we still got all the pieces we need to go win. Our window is still very much open. We still have all the pieces we need to go win big games and potentially win a Super Bowl. Yeah, we see how that played out. And I said that from the beginning.
I would say you can't attack the fans, Amon Ra. You can't. Who pays?
No.
Who pays for basically your salary? Who pays to come to your games? Who watches you on TV week in, week out? Who gets all the highest viewed stuff? The Lions do. Who was put on primetime every single game? Pretty much every single game this year. The Lions were. The fans the fans support you. They pay for your salary, basically. They pay for your contract. And you decided to attack them? Why? That's why Equinemius is like, wow. Interesting. You're really going to go that route, brother? I mean, I get it. You're upset that people are kind of questioning you because you feel like you have a little bit of respect from everybody because of what you've done the last couple of years. But this is a new Lions era, I guess, if you want to say, because there's no Ben Johnson, no Aaron Glenn, no Ragnow. You're probably your most important piece. You're going to start losing some guys here. Glasgow possibly, Decker possibly. Like the Lions have the Lions fans have a reason to question you, Amon Ra. I shouldn't say Amon Ra personally, but they have a reason to question the Lions. Look at last year. They hired their 2 new coordinators, Kelvin Shepard, Johnny Moe. Did it really play out? Not really. Johnny Moe all of a sudden lost play calling duties with Dan Campbell midway through the season. Dan Campbell took over play call. So there's a reason to do this. There's also a reason to question because Brad Holmes thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and he also doesn't plan for things. Why are we taking Isaac Tesla with 3 third-round picks or traded up for him? Why are we doing that? Smartest guy in the room, Isaac Tesla. No one really knows who he is. Then we have Manu. Why are we taking Manu? We have been in critical spots in the draft and in terms of signing players. DJ Reed sucked this year, but we spent over $3 million. Carlton Davis, he's currently in the playoffs right now with the Patriots. That's what's going on right now. I know he's injury prone, but you know what? He had a pick in the playoff game against the Texans. But Amon Ra, you can't come out and attack the fans like this because they're the ones supporting you. Who's the ones dyeing their hair blue? No one on the team. No celebrities are doing that. The fans are doing that. You cannot come out and say that. And I will say this real quick. Dan Campbell, if you do not get this offensive coordinator thing right, this is going to get dialed up a little bit on your seat because it's the second time, or this would eventually be the third time that you would have either fired an offensive coordinator or took over an offensive coordinator position in terms of calling plays midway through the season. And Amon Ra, look, dude, you dropped a lot of passes last year in critical spots. I'm not saying your job's easy, but you dropped a lot of critical passes. and the Lions have a reason to question you.
Yep. Expectations have changed. Okay. Like this whole, oh, we're not as bad as we used to be. What the hell does that mean with now? If our expectation as an organization is that almost is good enough, well, then I have really no interest in coming out and watching or cheering for this team. Sorry. Yep. Done. Over. You take your moral victories and go home. If that's
if any team that I support and all of a sudden the goal is like to just be kind of good and not win it, I'm not watching them anymore.
I'm done. I'm out of here.
The goal is to win a championship. And
yes.
I've
now.
I felt what it was a couple of years ago to win a championship on a football team that I've rooted for. I need that feeling back, Amon Ra. And the Lions, and the thing that annoys me the most is Amon Ra literally said the same exact thing about Johnny Moe before the season started, and look how that panned out. The dude got fired midway through the season. And
Alex Anzalone after the first game against the Packers, they got waxed.